Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the RWT Podcast. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me, as always, is Paul Morales and Daniel Crimmins. We are Raw Wrestling Talk, baby, and today we got a lot to talk about in the world of professional wrestling.
So, what do you want to talk about?
So first and foremost, we're going to get into some sad stuff, but I figured since we discussed it, and I know Paul's got some things to say, we discussed it this prior week on Max. It is the anniversary, the 20-year anniversary of the passing of Eddie Guerrero, Latino Heat himself, one of the greatest minds, one of the greatest talents, one of the greatest people in the history, in the world of professional wrestling, Latino Heat himself.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about somebody who overcame, all of his demons, as he would say.
Uh-huh.
And he did so much for the industry. He put over so many people, worked with a who's who. We could even go back to what Bill Brooks, when CM Punk mentioned in an interview that he talked about Eddie Guerrero and that he was in IWC or
IWA,
and he went over there and he didn't have to go, but he finished his bookings because he was going back to WWE, and of course he was the Intercontinental Champion, and CM Punk was their champion, so he still did the wrestling match with him. They said, he goes, well, I'm going to do a 60-minute draw with you. We'll go 60 minutes, and they went out there and put on a show, 30 minutes. They went out there, put on a show, and when they were done, Eddie said, I can't do this. Like, come on, man, let's go 5 more minutes. I'm just asking for 5 more minutes. And then he told him, sorry, Punky. He goes, I got to hit you with the frog splash. Boom, hit him 1, 2, 3. He had actually put up his Intercontinental title on the line, which is something that wouldn't have been recognized by WWE, but he did it anyways, as a gesture to CM Punk, because he told him afterwards, you know what, you're going to go far in this industry. And sure enough, Phil did.
He was right.
I still, you talk about like WrestleMania moments. His match with Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 20, I will say is one of the more highly underrated WrestleMania matches. And of course, we have that image of closing out Mania, Eddie Guerrero and that other guy.
Uh-huh.
And to see where Eddie had come from when he was in WCW, and the guy went way too soon. And I still remember he was supposed to win the World Heavyweight title, I think that night. The day he died, Batista, if I remember right, was injured.
Yep.
And I think it was like a pectoral or a bicep, or he was in a bad way, and Eddie was supposed to win, and Eddie didn't think he was as good as he was. You talk about people that. The best ones aren't the ones that be like, yeah, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the GOAT, I'm all this.
The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. And I love. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's like you look at who are the greatest of all times. I mean, we look at them. I mean, I get it. Ric Flair is always on a lot of people's top list, and I get that. But you look at the humble ones that never said, hey, guess what? I'm the best in this business. You look at Sting. Sting was never the one that, everybody labeled him the icon, but he didn't want it, but they still gave it to him anyways. And he was so great with everybody that he got in the ring with.
Foley
was one of the better ones, but I get it. You know what? He's not on everybody's top.
He's a brawler.
Yeah. But you look at somebody who's Stone Cold. Stone Cold is one. Stone Cold is solidly one of the better workers that had ever been in that ring. And he would tell you, no, we just go out there, we just put everything together, go out there and do what we need to do. He never said, hey, I'm the best, I'm anything in the ring. Another person is one of my other favorites. My name is right there. the dead man of RWT, The Undertaker. We know how much he was like, I'm going to put over everybody and anybody. It wasn't how many titles he had. It wasn't by the number of major titles he had in the company. It was just putting people over, and Eddie was the exact same way. You can go back. You can go back to the stuff that he had with Rey Mysterio back in WCW. Hell, you could even go back to AAA when they first started Worlds Collide. No matter how you want to look at it, Eddie Guerrero was one of those top stars. And even though he didn't believe it, everybody else did. Everybody today still uses him as their template for how they want to perform. I know we give Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks. I know we give her a lot of shit, but I know that Eddie was one of her inspirations. Dominic Mysterio, yes, we still give him a lot of shit too, but hey, guess what? That was his uncle. No matter what, that was still his uncle. Even though he says that's his dad, it was his uncle. We can go on and lay out so many others. Javon Evans actually said he was inspired by Eddie Guerrero. So many talented stars today label themselves after Eddie Guerrero. So,
oh yeah, like
20 years, dude. 20.
It doesn't. I still remember, logging on to the
World Wide Web
back in the day, and just seeing that headline, and just thinking like, what? Like, it just, and knowing how young he was.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yep.
Like, he's the age. Bray Wyatt was just a couple years younger.
Yep. Yes, he was.
And it's like both were like right at the cusp of like Eddie. He got good matches out of JBL.
Yes, he did.
He had a great feud with Brock before Brock was the Beast incarnate. Before he was,
he was the next big thing.
Yep.
Granted, a lot of that stuff would not fly today.
No. I mean, everybody talks about that promo before No Way Out where he was talking about I'm addicted to the love of the people and everything. Still gives me goosebumps, gets me right. Yeah. You could tell Brock wanted to cry. It's one of those things. I mean, to go on to your point, like he was supposed to be Batista and Randy Orton in a triple threat to win the world title. Mr. Kennedy was his final opponent. I mean, if you look at 2002, before Stone Cold walked out, that was the last person who feuded with Stone Cold in 2002. The match with RVD where he won the Intercontinental title. I mean, him and Brock, I was there for him and Kurt at WrestleMania 20. I was there for him and Edge at SummerSlam 02. Los Guerreros, Angle and Benoit, Edge and Ray at Survivor Series 02. And, of course, like you mentioned, Eddie and Ray, Halloween Havoc in WCW. Eddie and Dean Malenko in ECW. It's one of those things, man, where that dude was just such a legend. He was a pioneer, and he was
initially and with Halloween Havoc 97, like initially they wanted Eddie to win the match.
Yeah, and he said no.
And Eddie, understanding, the importance of the mask in Lucha Libre, like he made that work. The tearing of the mask just enough so you don't see the full face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which people have been doing that in Lucha Libre for decades.
Yeah.
We just saw semi-recently with El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. and Ethan Page.
Yep.
And I will say Ethan Page, one of the best. I think Ethan Page and Eddie Guerrero would have had a fucking great one.
Isn't it kind of crazy that we never got Eddie and Shawn like we were supposed to get at WrestleMania 22, which would have been absolutely off the chain?
If I remember right, that was supposed to be a title match.
I think it might have been, yeah, probably. Or if he didn't have the title, at least a dream match scenario.
The
like
story that I heard was that Shawn was originally supposed to win the Rumble. And it was going to be Shawn versus Eddie for the title.
Which would have been fantastic.
Which would have brought the house down. No doubt.
Because up until the end, Shawn could fucking go.
Oh, yeah. He had only been back at the time for, 3.5 years within WWE at that time? So, yeah, he was still cooking.
And Eddie, when we saw him in WCW, we knew how good he was. Bischoff didn't see it. But seeing him in WWE, the stuff he did with China, with Los Guerreros, and he's somebody that earned the respect of a crowd. Despite management being like, yeah, this isn't going to be the guy. This isn't going to be the guy. The people will tell you who they want.
That's exactly it. And then you go back to, we'll go back to that one singular feud with Brock Lesnar and, leading up to No Way Out. And you knew everything that Eddie was going through, and you saw everything that Brock had thrown at him. And you saw the coming out with the mariachis, going in the ring and talking smack to Eddie, talking about how he's an addict and so on and so forth. And then Eddie eventually having that epic promo. Brock saying, that he held back every tear. You could see him kind of like he was wiping away sweat, but he wasn't. He was wiping away tears. Them going to the back. Him hugging Eddie.
Yep.
Telling him that he loved him. That's wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew. So with that being said, rest in peace. Viva la raza, Eddie Guerrero. We love you. We miss you. And thank you for the moments and memories.
And in a positive light, yes. It was reported that Chavo is back with the WWE.
Yeah.
Doing some stuff with AAA. I think that's wonderful.
And I will say this till I'm red in the face. After Eddie passed, that if there was ever a time, that was the time to strap the rocket to Chavo.
Yep. 05, 06. Yep.
And I'm sorry.
I love Ray too. I really love
Ray too. Yeah.
It should have been Chavo.
It should have been Chavo. Nobody
Chavo
else.
should have been the one to win the Rumble, win the title.
I get it. He was emotional.
It should have been me.
But it should have been Chavo. Over anybody else, it should have been Chavo. As much as I love Ray, it should have been Chavo.
And honestly, you could have had a Chavo and Ray feud because those two are great.
They did, but it wasn't the same. If it was for the world title.
Yeah, and that they would go out there and they're showmen. They'll go out there and put on a show. They've done it before.
He made Kerwin White
even in tag team when Ray and Crit and Benoit were a tag team, and they ended up facing Los Guerreros, and we ended up seeing them doing the exact same thing, and even in WCW we got to see Chavo versus Ray, there too. And I get it. It's completely different. The platforms are very different, and all Eric Bischoff wanted was for them to go out there, be high flyers, and do all that, which is fine. But if it would have happened in WWE and you allowed them to just go out there and do it for a major title, man, they would have brought down the house.
I agree, and
especially with the emotions of Eddie.
Oh yeah, that's it's the story writes itself, and plus Ray
made Kerwin White work.
There you go. And with Ray being Chavo's debut match in 2002, and Kerwin White, he got Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler there as his caddy. It worked for what they put him with. He made the character work. And
just as an aside, Kerwin White, the theme song we used for him, is now Michael Cole's theme,
which is hilarious in itself. But yes, rest in peace, Eddie. And this is just more moments and memories to be created. And like Dan mentioned, it's great to see Chavo back helping out with AAA. I know he's going to do a great job within that side of the coin there. Other news, and again, we'll bring it back up in a second, but two things that really came out. Passed away at the age of 95. Rest in peace to Bob Caudle, legendary announcer with NWA and Atlantic.
Good Lord. And talk about a man who was there almost literally from the beginning of, and I know the NWA is, close to 70 years old, but you talk about a guy who had been there for upwards of like 50 years. That man had been there. Well, take that back. I think it was somewhere in the line of like 40 plus years that he had been there. But still, man, you talk about a man who was the lead for that company, Well, not only was he a lead announcer, he was also interviewing everybody, and he was there from the beginnings of, good Lord, Ric Flair, Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, I mean, to name a few. But still, rest in peace to that man. I mean, you talk about a legend in the business, that man is a legend in the business.
So you said he
doesn't get enough credit.
Oh, yeah. I equate him to like Gordon Solie, like you mentioned, with how long his tenure was there. And just someone that you obviously remembered, and you just remember seeing his visual on the screen with the microphone, being that lead announcer. Bob Caudle was the man. And Dan, do you have any memories of Bob Caudle?
Not of Bob Caudle, but I don't like seeing that fucking Dodgers cup.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry, bitch.
I was waiting for you last week to say something. After
talk to me when you get 26 of those World Series rings. Talk to me when you catch up.
Okay, I'll talk to you when I catch up. But I'll tell you about the last two that we won.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Whew. So Dan,
seeing as how you haven't touched one since 2000, so it's okay.
What?
I know we got one like 2009.
No, I know. I was just joking.
Yeah, we got something back in 2009. Hold up.
It could be worse. We could be the Mets.
Yeah.
Could be the Clippers. Could be the Mets. Could be the I don't know, Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
I'll say this: the New York Mets are the Dallas Cowboys of Major League Baseball.
Oh, damn.
Every year.
But you know what? Here's the difference though. The Mets have been in a championship game. Oh, I don't know, in this decade, so, or in this century, so.
Yeah.
In this millennium.
Cowboys haven't seen it in 30 years, so.
What? Dan, do you have any memories of Bob Caudle before we move on to the next topic?
I don't, but we talk about kind of sadness. I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Kevin Nash.
Yes, go ahead.
He was talking about how next year is the 30th anniversary of the NWO.
Yes.
And how he's like, I kind of feel like the lone survivor on the Titanic. Like, you think of how important that moment was, not just for WCW, but for pro wrestling in general. Like, that kick-started the business. Like, that basically, imagine like getting a defibrillator, getting that shock. That's what it needed.
I mean, for the
4-3, I still remember watching that, which technically that match should not have ended in a disqualification.
I agree. We've seen it.
If you think about it, everybody in that ring, with the exception of Nash, is gone. Mean Gene, gone. Hogan, gone. Hall, gone. And like
Macho Man, who was the one that took the leg, gone. The only
Sting,
one
who was almost the third man, which wouldn't have worked.
Which wouldn't have worked at all.
Well, Sting was there, Lex Luger was there. So if you theoretically look at it, it was the only ones that are surviving from that actual match are literally Luger, Sting, and Nash. But you talk about the formation of the NWO, it's Hogan, Nash, and Scott Hall. So,
and even now, people say, they've acknowledged they should have kept the NWO much smaller.
Yeah, I mean, it ran its course. For those 2 years. It ran its course. Everybody was in the NWO, Wolfpack. LW.
I think the three of us were in the NWO.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what's up. You know what's up.
You know. But just how important that group was to wrestling, like, fuck, like,
I mean,
it kick-started the Monday Night War, but at the same time, you look at that was the ignition. That was the night that everything changed, and you saw
the shot heard around the world.
You had seen, basically, Bobby Thompson. The shot heard around the world. Yeah, I know not everybody understands the reference. I know some of y'all are younger than others, but Bobby Thompson hit the home run off of Frank. I can't remember his damn name. Anyways, Dodgers, Giants. Giants win the pennant.
Archduke Ferdinand in World War I, like that was the moment.
I mean, you talk about guys who. I mean, it was just one of those shot in the arms for wrestling. It kick-started wrestling back up again. Yeah, it was in its low stage. Hell, you can go back and listening to that one fool named Moses Marquez. Yeah, that fool and I were doing the Monday Night War. Yeah, that fool. That fool.
That fool.
Yes, Moses, that fool.
That fool.
Anyways, go back and listen to what we were talking about, and you could see kind of how boring it was, but you could see how WCW was kind of in their prime. They were just primed and ready to hit the gas. I mean, literally, they hit the gas, hit the nitrous, and took off. And
watching the interview with Mean Gene and just seeing how quickly that ring filled up with garbage.
Yep. Yep.
Like, in the 29 years since, I've never seen anything close to that.
Nah.
We've seen, here and there, but as much as there was, like,
I mean, you had your hero Hulk Hogan have meant like 15 years, and then all of a sudden he's a bad guy.
That took some balls to do.
Oh yeah,
and you know what?
It's like when Scott Hall got hit with the freaking with the cup of beer, and all he did was go like this to his hair and just push it back and be like,
okay.
But we've seen trash thrown into the ring, but nothing at that debut of the NWO. So
there was an interview a number of years back with Scott Hall, and he was saying like how he's like, when that happened, and man, they're throwing garbage at Hogan. And he says, I got to the back and I told Big Kev, I said, bro, we've got something here.
Yep.
Because you've literally pissed off the entire fan base of WCW. You literally pissed off everybody. And Hulk Hogan being that third person, of all the people that anybody had ever thought would not turn, never in a million years, to a lot of people, it would be a Hulk Hogan just turning on the fans and disrespecting them the way he did, and talking crap the way he did in that promo. No wonder why everybody filled the freaking ring with trash, because they were tired of they were mad. They were mad.
And he told the truth.
And it's one of those moments where, like, again, we're coming upon 30 years that will always follow life within each and every one of our hearts and souls. And, man, just even think of that with Kevin Nash being the lone survivor there of the NWO is crazy. But they're never not going to be forgotten. It's one of our favorite factions. And we'll do a cheap plug if you want to hear Dan, Paul, and I talk about it on Uncaged, cheap plot number 1. Go back and watch it. Links will be in the description down below. And speaking of that, now we mentioned Kevin Nash, we mentioned Bob Cottle.
Down where?
Down there. We mentioned Kevin Nash, we mentioned Bob Cottle. We did also mention Eddie Guerrero. Now we have to turn to Rebel, which this broke my heart, man. We're going to read about this right here, right now. So poor Rebel, who was in AEW, she was in TNA. She has announced that she has cancer. So she explained that she was hospitalized in May of 2024 for having masses in her lungs, and she was prescribed antifungals to improve. After not getting better for more than a year, she checked into the Mayo Clinic, where she found out her diagnosis. If there's a best case scenario, then I have it, she said, so that's good. Brooks would also reveal that she's battling functional neurological disorder, which has taken her ability to speak clearly and walk without the assistance of a walker. She said it has also taken functionality from her right hand, and she can no longer write. She'll be starting rehab this week to assist with that. I have a very serious infection right now, so I'm on IV antibiotics, and I have to clear this infection first before I can address the cancer, she said. And once that's finished, hopefully in December, I will go in for a third bronchoscopy to determine what kind of treatment I'll be having, chemo, radiation, immunology, and then we'll start there, and then we'll kick its ass. So thoughts, love, and prayers to Rebel with her primary pulmonary lymphoma and everything that she's got going on with her lungs and neurologically speaking. This woman is a sweetheart, much like Paul's mentioned, one of his favorites, one of our favorites. I remember her starting TNA in the Menagerie, her work with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and AEW. The woman could do no wrong. Just, I feel so bad for her, and I'm wishing her nothing but thoughts and prayers and love to the way of Miss Rebel. Paul, go ahead. Your thoughts on Rebel and this diagnosis.
Dude, she's such a rock star. I mean, she epitomized somebody who had so much strength, and she did so many different things. She was in the NWA for a little bit of time. She's been on various podcasts, with so many different people. She's been on Busted Open several times. Unfortunately, she was with Ryback for a little while.
Oh.
Podcast and on his show. So, but I mean, she has her own, and I can't remember I know her last name is Wild, but I couldn't remember her first name.
Taylor Wilde.
Yeah, Taylor Wilde. That was it. And I know that they had did what they were doing for some time, and I don't know if they still have their podcast, but still, you're talking about somebody who has fought her way through so much adversity. She's in this situation, and she's going to kick its ass. I believe it. She's going to kick its ass. She's going to come back on the other end and be like, I fucking won. Ring that bell, girl. Ring that bell, girl. And, say you kicked Lymphoma's ass.
I think what I always liked about her, too, is from where she started in the Menagerie and then in the Dollhouse with Mia Yim and Marty Bell, and then just going to Japan, like you mentioned, going to NWA, really honing her craft. To what she did in AEW with Britt Baker was hilarious. But she's another one, man. She's a trooper, and I know, like much you said, she's going to kick some ass and take names. And also, while I add, fuck cancer. So, Daniel Crimmins, your thoughts on the Rebels' diagnosis?
You always hate to see anybody that has to face this, and you hate to see it. You really do. And she's one of those people that I don't think got the credit she deserves.
No.
Hopefully she's able to kick its ass and, live the life she wants to live.
Absolutely. So, Rebel, we're praying for you, and we're sending you nothing but love, girl. We want to see you get out there on the other side and whip some ass. So, with that being said, speaking of whipping some ass, we go from Rebel and someone who we want to rip ass just for the wrong reasons, just because he's an asshole. He's an asshole. We're talking about the one, the only, Bill Goldberg. We're going to talk about Bill next because Bill also made some headlines here. So, let's
Fuck the Goldberg.
Fuck the Bill Goldberg. So, KNS WrestleFest shared on social media that Goldberg walked out on a planned private signing. Unfortunately, Goldberg's private signing did not happen. We had all our items laid out ready to sign as Goldberg was doing another private for another vendor. After he was done, he got up and said he was done. He walked out past our stuff and left, We were all super disappointed and frustrated. My apologies to all. Bill Goldberg.
Mind if I take this one first?
Of course.
Go for it.
Goldberg always liked to portray this image of being a hero, being, the good guy.
For the kids.
And he was talking about how important it was to create a good, positive image for kids. Bill, heroes don't do this bullshit.
Right.
Good guys don't do this. Like, I have seen and heard more stories of heels, being more for the fans. Case in point, if you watch it on their YouTube channel, Stephanie McMahon interviewed Paul Heyman.
Yes.
Which, honestly, if you haven't seen it yet, it's probably the best episode that she's done yet. And Paul tells a story of a couple years ago. they did a Make-A-Wish, meaning Brock.
Yeah.
Which you think of Brock Lesnar doing a Make-A-Wish, like,
What?
really? Like,
Really? Okay.
But it was when it was before the Roman and all that, and a fan was near tears. You know, or the fan was was on death's door, and Brock told the fan, "Hey, I want you to come into the Rumble." It may have been Royal Rumble 2020, even.
Right.
And the kid said, "I'm gonna be there." And before they got in the room with the kid's parents told Paul and Brock that, like, hey, he doesn't have much time. And Paul was saying, you know, Brock and I, you know, we're trying to hold back our tears, and we're just saying, sure, kid. Well, at the press conference, you know, Brock never did those because, you know, it's fucking Brock Lesnar.
Right.
They see the kid there, and Paul sees him. Show ends, and Paul calls Brock and just says, "Brock, that kid's here." And Brock says, "What kid?" And he says, "The kid from the Make-A-Wish." They spent time with the kid, with, you know, that Make-A-Wish kid, and Brock's a heel.
Yep.
Goldberg. He's somebody that likes to hear himself talk, say, "Oh, I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy." Well, a good guy also wouldn't run down freaking Asuka for just doing what they had paid her to do.
Yeah, he's never gotten over the fact that.
And they say, "Oh, well, I've got nothing against her." Well, clearly you fucking do.
Well, when you go, some Japanese girl beat my streak. Yes, you have a problem with Asuka.
And you keep bringing it up.
Yep.
And you keep stressing that she's Japanese. Like, the fuck is your problem?
And also the fact that, you know, they wouldn't even let me have the proper thing. You know, they cut it off. You saw what happened. I'm like, Bill, they let you wrestle. Shut up, Bill.
That was the network.
That was the network that cut you off. Like, be quiet, Bill.
And, you know, when him to try and ruining his son's prospects before his sons even stepped foot in a training ring. Yep, and his own son's like, just like, yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah, be quiet. Yeah, be quiet. Oh, Bill. Fuck the Bill Goldberg. Paul, you want to comment on Bill doing what he just did?
You can't fucking do that. Like, you can't fucking do that. It would be different if you just said, "Hey, look, I had a prior obligation. I forgot to do this, and blah, blah, blah. Hey, I'm sorry. I apologize." No, Bill just got up and left. Yep. Didn't even say nothing to them. And he knew that they put all that stuff out there for him, you know, to sign, you know, to have meet with people. And I'm pretty sure that they sold tickets for that too, you know, to meet him. And he literally got up and said, and fucking walked away. You don't fucking do that to people. You don't do that to the fans who are supporting you, who think that you're one of the fucking best, the best to ever do it. You're not, but still, you like to think that, and these are the people who think that you are. So why couldn't you just stay there and be like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna, you know, I'll do this for a little while longer. Hey, I'm sorry that my last one ran a little long," or whatever. You know, if you framed out a time to do all this and said, "Hey, look, I got 2 hours. Let me do an hour at this table, an hour at that table. I apologize for anybody that doesn't get through."
Right.
But a lot of those people were there for like the whole day. You saw Lex Luger there. You saw and I think you saw Mick Foley there and Mark Henry. And I mean, you look at all the wrestlers that had showed up to do this stuff, and he's the one that left everybody high and dry. How does that look on you? And one, how does that look on the people who hired you to be there? It's like, literally, I took my money and I left.
Yep.
There was a story that Iron Sheik told a number of years ago where
Fuck the Hulk Hogan?
Fuck the Hulk Hogan.
Well, that too, but how this fan really wanted to get a picture or an autograph from Andre the Giant. And Andre just looked at the kid and just said, "Fuck you, I'm not doing this."
Yep.
So Sheik did it.
Yep.
Sheik posed for a picture. Like, I get it, everybody has bad days, But people spent their money sending their shit to get signed.
It reminds me.
People did all this, and for him to just walk by without even an explanation, like I don't see where he's even released a statement right yet. Like,
No.
You can't just say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I had a bad day, this and that."
Well, it reminds me of the Undertaker at the airport where he was telling the story of the Ultimate Warrior, and some kid went up to the Ultimate Warrior and he told the kid to get the fuck away from him. So, I mean, that's kind of what that reminds me of. And that is definitely something that the Ultimate Warrior would do. And Undertaker was like, you can't do that, man. It's a little kid. He's like, oh, man, fuck that little kid. Derp, 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 derp. So, I mean, yeah, that's what kind of reminds me of. But, Bill, be a better person, Bill. Be better, Bill.
We just talked about how some of the best wrestlers don't recognize themselves as being the best wrestlers in the world. Right. And you just saw what you just said about the Undertaker telling the Ultimate Warrior, you can't do that. That's somebody who is one of the best wrestlers in the world, who didn't need everybody to tell him, but he is one of the better workers in this world. And for him to tell somebody like the Ultimate Warrior that, I mean, it showed a lot more a character of Mark Calloway than it did for the Ultimate Warrior. So,
oh yeah, he's talked about he wanted to be incognito, did not want to be seen in the airport, but Ultimate Warrior with his face paint stuck out like a sore thumb, and the kid knows, and he just told him to F off, and he told Jim, like, what the hell are you doing, man?
You can't do that.
But Bill Goldberg, you can go fuck
Bill Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg. Speaking of people that everybody's been telling to fuck off, we're gonna go into this next one. We'll do some AEW talk coming up here.
Well, actually, I got something that I just saw, and it's something positive.
Okay, hit me.
Rusev and his wife Lana have announced that they are going through IVF to start a family.
Well, congratulations, Rusev and Lana. That's awesome. Good on you.
You know,
it's not mine.
I wish them nothing but the best, and you know, Rusev, he's somebody that he gets like he'll sign stuff. Like he has said he loves doing that.
Yeah, Rusev's a good dude, man. Like I'm really looking forward to seeing him. We'll get to this.
I will say
yes.
that I still crack at that video from Saturday night's main event of him like yelling at that fan, that little kid.
The little kid.
And the kid just starts crying, like, you know, going back to that podcast with Stephanie McMahon and Paul Heyman, they were both just saying how much more fun it is to be the bad guy.
Well, yeah, that's what made Paul who he is and his character as a manager and him as a personality. Same with Stephanie and her own. I saw the same thing you did. Like, she loved being called a slut after the whole Armageddon 99 thing with Triple H, like the start of the McMahon-Helmsley era.
Imagine explaining that to her kids. Like imagine saying, Mom, why is everybody calling you a slut?
And you got to break it down, literally, to
break it down.
Yes,
remember with the Jericho calling all the names?
Dirty, filthy, bottom-feeding, trash bag. Oh, yes. But no, that's the thing, too. I mean, I look at it from a stance like this. Like you mentioned, Rusev, and we'll touch upon the Last Time Is Now tournament in a bit here. But this one has been making the rounds as well. Nixon Newell, the former Tegan Knox, and Miranda Alizé. They were supposed to have a 3-minute match on Collision with Ty Mello, and they said no. And we could tell the week beforehand when they were facing Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir that Tegan Knox there, Nixon Newell, sandbagged the German suplex. And they said, no, here you go, Hyan and Maya World. You could go ahead and take our spot. And I think Hyan and Maya World actually wrestled Ty Mello in like a 2-minute match, but they took it because of the opportunity. I always say this, make the most of your opportunity. King Kong Bundy, like Jeff Hardy did jobs for him. He did jobs for Triple H. He did jobs for Razor. You look at Matt Hardy, did jobs for Nikolai Volkov and the Ringmaster. Like everybody's done the enhancement work. CM Punk got hired for his tryout match with Val Venus. Friggin' James Ellsworth got hired for his stuff that he did with Braun Strowman. So, I mean, they put in the work and they made the most of their times and they got contracts. These two hadn't even friggin' been working yet. I mean, Miranda Alizé did some dark stuff back during the pandemic era. Nixon Newell has not been with the WWE for a year. It's been officially been a year since she got released. So this is the latest report that we're going to talk on here. So Nixon Newell has been accused of having WWE.
Hey, I have 3-minute matches all the time. I don't know what her problem is.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I see what you did there. What? Okay, so this is from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, so take it with a grain of salt.
That's while the neighbor is gone and his wife is home alone.
Yeah. So Nixon Newell has been accused of having WWE brain rot by an unnamed independent wrestling booker following her walking out of AEW. One person involved with the independent scene said they didn't believe this public publicity would help get Newell bookings, even though this became kind of the talk in wrestling. And some indie promoters think that controversy will help sell tickets, and they aren't just two random women. But one person who books independent talent said they disagreed. Wasn't it just the other week you were talking about wrestlers who had leverage not wanting to do business? How about wrestlers with zero leverage? Nixon isn't going to get work out of this. She wasn't getting work before and was crying about it. She has way too much money and sells 0 tickets on her name alone. Usual WWE brain rot. So, with that being said, Nixon Newell, I will say this, even after her WWE release, really has done nothing. And I've said this about Tegan's career. Her injuries in the Mae Young Classic, she was great. I liked her as a wrestler. Talker, not so much. She wasn't really that good of a promo. I said this with Beer, and I'll say it here. The best thing that she's done throughout her tenure in WWE was the Dakota Kai heel turn at War Games in NXT. That was the best thing of her tenure there in WWE. Miranda Alizé has just been around. Like, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know they were a couple until that match on Collision with Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir. But bottom line is, don't have any stank attitudes and just, do what you can to make the most of your time. You're supposed to do a job, do the doggone job. So I will start with Paul on this one once more. Your thoughts on Nixon Newell and Miranda Alizé walking out on AEW Collision?
I believe she said that eventually she would come out and talk about why it happened.
Yeah, she said it on Twitch that, she was told to leave. They told them to leave, and she felt like it wouldn't be substantial to only go 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to put over somebody, why does it always have to be a certain amount of time, to put them over? And I get squash matches. Squash matches are usually less than like 2-3 minutes long, but if you're trying to make them look like a bunch of badasses, why not give them more of a lengthier time to be like, we're going to squash them, but we're going to destroy them. And in the process, even if it's a DQ, a disqualification, on the people who were doing who were trying to get over, that would be different. And you're not trying to hurt the women. You're just literally trying to put them over.
Right.
Especially Megan Bayne being as big as she is, it gave you an opportunity to go out there and do that. And all she was asking for was more than 3 minutes. And I think it would have sufficed had you given her 4, maybe 5 minutes, to produce something, better for them and left them in carnage, out there, as opposed to them just walking out of the ring after, holding their arms or being battered and bruised in the middle of the ring. You want them to be a dominant team. Prove that they're a dominant team. Give them about 5 minutes to beat the shit out of them and make it work. They could have done that, but Tony didn't do it. So,
well, my thing too
is
with
my opinion.
Well, no, the thing too is I hear you wholeheartedly on that.
No, you don't.
Well, let me finish what I'm saying. So
come get your boy.
It's one of those things too, bro. Like, they have the women's tag team tournament, and I'm like, if you want to have viable people to ever be in the women's tag division, you have Nixon and Miranda Alizé right there. I would like to see them possibly bring in, if they do. They've had Lacey Lane and Casey Catanzaro. So you have lanes there, but it's all on Tony if he wants to do it. So, Dan, now I will go to you and your thoughts on this Nixon Newell Miranda Alizé situation. We will not do 3 minutes.
The thing of it is, like,
shoot your shot.
I've read stories lately where people aren't blaming Nixon Newell; they're blaming the other one,
Miranda Alizé.
Yeah, saying, "Hey, this is her doing." Like, but she talks shit on WWE. They're not going to take her back.
No.
She pulls this bullshit with AEW. They're not going to bring her back in. Who else is there? TNA, they're controlled by TKO at this point.
Yeah, that TNA ain't taking her in.
I guarantee they try to bring her in. Somebody with WWE is going to be like, yeah, no.
Well, she even said like next year is going to be her last year in professional wrestling, so we shall see.
Yeah, because she's had so many injuries, and
and also
I understand from that point to where she wants to finish her career just however she finishes her career. So,
I mean, it's one of those things too where it's just like with her, it's just like she asked why she isn't getting booked, and I'm like, why do you think? Why the hell you think you're not getting booked? So, yeah, it's a shame because I did like her in WWE, but she's too injury prone, and Miranda Alizé is just whatever. And I hate to say that about her because I mean I've seen some of her stuff. She's aight, but it is what it is. So they fucked themselves. To put in the bluntest of terms, they fucked themselves on this one. They screwed the pooch, if you will. They screwed the pooch. So speaking of screwing pooches, we're going to talk about Mercedes.
Okay, Bubba.
Next, we're gonna talk about Mercedes Monday, and we're gonna play the interview here. She now has 13 championships.
Shout out to the doctor, man. You got to give that one, man.
Shout out to the So Mercedes,
I do it better than him.
So Mercedes,
you guys need to go somewhere.
So Mercedes Moné is now with her 13th championship. She dethroned Noor Phoenix Diana to capture the APAC Women's Championship, which is a promotion in Malaysia, and claim her spot at the top. And here is her interview with Sam Laterna after at House of Glory, which did sell out on Long Island.
Sam Laterna backstage at HOG, where I'm joined by the one, the only Mercedes Moné, and she now holds her 13th title, folks, having just defeated Noor Phoenix Diana here at HOG. She's your newest APAC Wrestling Women's Champion. What a match. The stakes, the circumstances, a beautiful moment in pro wrestling, Mercedes.
It's wild. It's wild of what a crazy year I've had. Becoming number one wrestler in the world thanks to PW. I don't care much. I already know I'm the greatest, so whatever. But now everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Everybody wants to jump on the money train, and I have to give it to Noor Phoenix. She is one that jumped on the money train. She is one that slipped into my DMs and challenged me, challenged one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time. And she's lucky. She is lucky that I even saw those DMs because do you know how many followers I have on my social media? A lot. So you are welcome, Noor Phoenix. You are so welcome. But thank you. Thank you for helping me win my lucky number, title 13. Because I said it from the very beginning, I'm on a global mission. And now everybody in the world knows about Noor Phoenix Diana. I mean, she went out there and gave it her all. She showed me why she is the champion of her country. But not anymore. Not anymore, because there's a new CEO of Malaysia, of APEC Wrestling, and that's me, Ultimo Money. Any more questions, or can I go celebrate? Because I am 3 days removed from blood and guts. I broke my nail. I'm tired. I'm emotional. I feel like my period is coming. You are lucky. Everybody is lucky. And this is title number 13. Lucky number 13. Now, can I get some rest? Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Okay, so I have seen this Noor Phoenix Diana. Very talented wrestler. Only her second match here on U.S. soil. I got to give her credit. She's young. She's 30. Doing her thing coming out of Malaysia. Man, let me tell you something. Like we mentioned, House of Glory was sold out. We had Nick Nemeth against Amazing Red on the card, Karrion Kross in action. Shout out to House of Glory. Amazing promotion, Amazing Red and what they're doing. But yeah, also on Wednesday they announced, because they are in Boston, Massachusetts for Dynamite, it is the title unification match for the Women's Ring of Honor Television Championship. So get ready for number 14. Red Velvet and Mercedes Moné will be happening this Wednesday on Dynamite. We know she's going to be taking it in Boston. But we'll start with Dan this time, because I saw that face. I saw that head shaking. Your thoughts on Mercedes beating Noor Phoenix Diana for the APAC Women's Championship at House of Glory?
What the fuck is even the goddamn point of this bullshit this time? Like,
Ah!
people saying, oh, hey, she brings attention. The fuck she does. seriously, like, when are you going to see her defend that title?
Never.
Never. When are you going to see anybody from that company try and get their title back?
Never.
Never. I really want to know, how much is Tony Khan paying those companies?
$25,000 per appearance.
$25,000.
Wait, is that legit?
Yeah, we talked about that last show.
We talked about that last week.
I don't fucking remember.
We don't even remember what the hell we did yesterday. What the hell? Bubba?
Yeah. Bubba?
Hey, things got me all uncaged here.
G-Pop number 2. Nice. Check us out
Hey,
on Uncaged.
If that's ever happening again.
Hey, whoa. What'll be happening?
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. We'll actually put out shows, yes. So that'll be happening.
You mean we'll actually record them and put them out?
Yeah, we actually will.
Yeah. You know, like some guy with the pundit?
Hey, now.
Hey, now.
Oh, man.
But back to the point, like, she doesn't do anything. Like, you see her, like, if you see her coming to town, you already know, you're like, yeah, she's gonna win a title.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would be completely different if she was going out and defending these titles. Holding them is one thing. Defending them is a complete another. You know, you have 13 titles that you're holding right now. Forget 12, 11. 11 that are outside of AEW's umbrella.
Yep, auspices.
Because you're holding the Ring of Honor television title.
Interim.
It's still a television title. I don't give a damn if it's interim. But she's still holding an umbrella. She's still holding two titles under their umbrella. So 11 from other places. All I'm saying is that if you're not going out and you're not defending those titles against new contenders, you know, or at those companies, you know, what's the point in having them? Look at the Strong title. You didn't even lose, but yet you lost the title. You know, I would much rather her be out there to go defend those titles against, you know, other competitors in the company, as opposed to, hey, guess what? I'm just going to hold the titles and hold them hostage.
So
here's what's going to happen, and I guarantee.
Okay.
If they ever have a working relationship with WWE, it'll be just so that Mercedes can win those titles again.
So here's the tracker on those titles. So here's all the championships she has. The TBS championship that she's held for over a year now, beating Willow Nightingale. The CMLL Women's World Championship, defeating Zusix in June of this year. January of this year, Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's and Queen of Southside Championship, beating Mina Shirakawa. European Wrestling Association champion in Austria, beating Lexa Valo. Chaotic Wrestling Women's Championship, defeating Paris Van Dale. Primetime Wrestling Women's Championship, defeating Diana Strong in Poland. Best Job Women's Championship, defeating Diana Strong as well in Poland. Discovery Wrestling Scottish Women's Championship, beating Emerson Jane in August of this year. Body Slam Women's Championship, beating Alice Inc., not Regina Rosendahl. That's a typo. AEW Owen Hart Cup Women's Tournament winner, beating Jamie Hayter. Interim ROH Women's World Television Championship, beating Mina Shirakawa. Winnipeg Pro Wrestling Women's Championship, defeating Jody Threat. And now the APAC Women's World Champion there in Malaysia. And obviously it'll be out of 14 when she beats Red Velvet on Wednesday. So, yeah. That's all.
Is that going to be 14, or would that technically make the interim title
13?
Yeah, because that would still be 13 because she would get rid of the other one.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, those, and mind you, reading all of those, did any of you guys notice any of those besides Rev Pro and all that stuff? Like, did you notice any of those championships? No. Exactly. No. Exactly. So yeah, that's Mercedes championship runs so far.
But that's it though, is like, yeah, these are lesser known companies, but you know, you're going out there and doing that. But if you're not facing competitors in the company, you know, to, you know, put them out there for people to see, you're not doing much. You're not doing much of anything.
I mean, we saw in AEW this week, she only took one bump there in the War Games, the Blood and Guts match. and her team
War Games.
War Games.
War Games.
Thank you. And Blood and Guts, she only took the Samoan drop through the table from Statlander. That match was brutal. Marina Shafir dropping Chris Statlander on a bed of nails. I gotta say, man, I mean, it really heightened the story with Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa going into the tag title tournament and just Mina getting the absolute shit kicked out of her. We put over Kyle O'Reilly with John Moxley's blood tapping out to the ankle lock and thumbtack.
That was a good one.
Which was good. Adam Page beating Powerhouse Hobbs in the Falls Count Anywhere match and then announcing Samoa Joe and him in a steel cage at Full Gear. Okay. But other than that, I thought Dynamite this week was a better show than they've had in a long time.
Yeah. Step in the right direction.
What were your thoughts, Paul, on the war games? I'm sorry, the Blood and Guts matches and Adam Page and Samoa Joe.
I thought there were really, really good moments in both the men's and the women's. I mean, the women's was probably a hell of a lot more brutal as far as like what we saw from, them, being the women. I mean, we know, a majority of the time we don't think of them, wanting to go out there to take not just the bumps, but bleed. Sky Blue looked like a freaking crimson freaking mask.
Already 10 minutes.
I mean, and it was amazing. We talk about Marina Shafir, putting the glass up in her foot, and then stepping on freaking Mina Shirakawa, right in her chest, and it's like they destroyed Mina. They kicked that girl's ass. The one thing that got me was last night. Tell me Toni Storm's promo was not fire.
God is a fan of our work. Yes, I saw the promo.
that promo was fire. I love Toni Storm. I absolutely love her character.
Non-sexual friends, Alex Windsor and Riho. She was great, right?
Yeah, she's great.
That's all you can say.
Timeless.
She's very much timeless. But no, I mean, I'm excited to see where that match goes in the tournament. It's all how they build it, man. But like you mentioned, that promo was great last night. And I mean, AEW, we're starting to get there a little bit. I mean, as of right now, the Full Gear card looks like this because Full Gear is actually next Saturday as of this recording. So we have 9 matches. So there's 2 on the pre-show now. It is Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, not the Acclaimed, against the Bang Bang Gang, Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson, against Big Bill and Brian Keith, and against the Outrunners in a fatal 4-way tag match where the winner will receive a $200,000 cash prize. Oh boy, another money.
Young Bucks in that one.
That the Young Bucks are in the $1 million, $1 million. Yes,
to get more money.
To get more money. And we also have Boom and Doom, Boom AJ, and QT Marshall against Roppongi Vice. Boom! Against Roppongi Vice's Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta.
With a double junk chocolate cookie.
We got Stat and Monet, Paige and Joe, Brodito and FTR, the Casino Gauntlet, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe for the TNT title, no DQ. And the other match that they announced on Collision, Darby Allin goes one-on-one with Pac in a grudge match because he.
All I'm saying is that you look at the build to Blood and Guts. It was a far less build than they've been doing to Full Gear.
Yep.
And Blood and Guts was supposed to be a really, really, really great show. I mean, aside from the 2 matches that they had, it was supposed to be a build and continuance to get to Full Gear. And I think this past Dynamite, not to mention Collision, seems like they're doing a hell of a lot better to get there. And I know it's next Saturday and it's going to be a great show because, like I said before, we already know that AEW always puts on a really, really great show. That isn't the part that we were worried about. It was always the lead up, the to try and building up the card and, people just being interested in what was going on. And as much as I've watched Denise try and convince me, that they're doing a hell of a lot better. I believe it, and it looks like it. So,
they got Pac and Darby where we have Pac's military press slammed him through the flaming table thanks to Gabe Kidd, and now that match is happening. I mean, that's going to be very interesting. I'm sure they're going to add another. If it were me with what they're doing, aside from Pac being in that, they could do the Death Riders and the Conglomeration and Anarchy in the Arena type of match if they really wanted to do that. Or we could have Kyle get like another big win against Moxley. I mean, either way, we'll see. Do you see it kind of being like what it was a year ago with how they did Bryan Danielson dirty and they have the Death Riders turn on Moxley, which I could see, but also I think it's ridiculous because we still have Will Ospreay in the wings and we have to get Moxley and Ospreay. Like, why turn?
What needs to happen?
Okay, go ahead.
Well, first and foremost, it's next Saturday, right? And then Survivor Series is the week after.
That's correct.
Tony's going to add another 10 matches in between now and the pay-per-view.
Absolutely.
But
we'll find out Wednesday. We'll find out Wednesday if he adds another 10 more matches.
Now, as far as I think Mox needs to lose his next match. Then what needs to happen? Death Riders need to turn up. Pac needs to initiate it. Have Pac be the new leader.
I can dig that.
And they just
but I want somebody who can speak. And I know
they've got Marina Shafir for that.
Yeah, and she's doing a hell of a lot better. She is doing a hell of a lot better job.
You've got a problem
on that mic. You know, you have to admit that woman is just killing it on the mic now. Where the hell was this woman when she was in WWE? But man, she's killing it.
She had a problem.
And we know we do with problems, we solve them.
And I think, yeah, like you said, she can be the talking point, and if Pac's going to be the leader, that would be the one.
I mean, look at the difference that we also have here. So we do have Survivor Series, like you mentioned, the week after Full Gear. So right now the matches are CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, the Usos, and one person that we need left on their team against the Vision, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and one other person for their team. So Logan Paul we saw make the jump to the Vision. We saw Drew McIntyre on SmackDown. Paul Heyman said, I can have anyone, but Drew McIntyre suspended. So we got Drew on the Vision side, and Jimmy's just like, hey, I got a text from Punk. I'm on the team. Oh, okay. Good.
I'm going to say this. The last two to be added, Brock Lesnar for the Vision side.
Oh, okay.
And Roman's going to be on, it makes sense. I don't like that it's Roman. I would like Roman to be gone a little while longer.
Well, that's why I don't think it's Roman. I think it's Randy Orton.
Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. But I definitely do think it's going to be Brock for the Vision.
Okay.
You know what? Just because it wouldn't shock me, watch it be Seth Rollins.
No, I mean, they've also talked about it being Austin Theory just for because they've been talking about putting Austin Theory with the Vision, but that would kind of fall flat to me. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, we talked about the build. We talked about
his name and he'll appear.
Having a build for this card for this PLE for WWE. It sucks.
Oh, it's terrible right now. Plain
and simple, it sucks. We talk about how AEW was pretty much meh with their build for their last pay-per-view. This one is far fucking worse.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, why are Charlotte and Rhea fighting?
So I was kidding.
Why? It makes no sense. It really, really doesn't. And if you're using it as a part of the dissension to, get them together, to have them feud, to kind of put some doubt inside of the other team that they're facing. Okay, I understand, but still, it's like, why?
Well, because they did it with Becky Lynch.
And then they announced freaking on SmackDown that on the SmackDown before freaking a Survivor Series that there's going to be a traditional 5-on-5 freaking match there. Well, why?
So the match that I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but I feel your pain. So they had Charlotte come out, and she's hugging Io, and she's hugging Alexa, and then, it's all hot, lovey-dovey, and then she's like, I'm sorry, but, last time Rhea and I, we've never made up, so I can't do this. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Like, you just came out there all happy, and now you're just like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Okay, sure. And then you have that dissension.
They have, 4 people on their team?
Yes.
Who knows? Maybe it's time they light it up.
I think AJ Lee is going to be the final member for their team. Now we just need one more person for the Kabuki Warriors, Lash Legend, and Nia Jax.
I would beg it to be probably
Becky.
Either Becky or if anything, it would probably be either Roxanne or freaking or Raquel. I mean, not unless you're going to leave one off and then put them in a different match. I mean, because how was it we were leading up to the MTF versus the Wyatt Six?
Yep.
And all of a sudden, it's like we took a different course. And I get it, everything that was going on with Bo's dad, with Mike Rotunda. I get it. I completely get that part. But still, you still could have, with the 4 that were still there, or at least 3 that were still there, to try and build something.
And he's back.
And if there's 5 of them, you could just as easily, put this into a different perspective and bring in 2 other people. Oh, I don't know, maybe the Motor City Machine Guns, who were eventually on this team, I guess, who are going to face them against Nakamura.
Yeah, so it's Nakamura, Sami Zayn, and the Motor City Machine Phoenix against the MFTs. Now, they have the Wyatt Six in the background. Like Dan mentioned, he's back. We saw Uncle Howdy.
Did you see Uncle Howdy? Yeah.
And that's cool. I mean, we could probably set that up for Saturday night's main event, the MFTs against the Wyatt Six for the tag titles. But, I mean, I understand why they're doing it, but I hate it because I'm like, if it's Survivor Series, typically the traditional Survivor Series match would be on the Survivor Series, but they're doing it right before Survivor, whatever. But it's one of those things where I'm just like, yeah, what's SmackDown? I mean, you got Ilya Dragunov taking on Axiom this week. They're constantly teasing the Tommaso Ciampa feud, which we know is coming, and we're finally going to get Ciampa and Dragunov. But yeah, I don't know. SmackDown's been very meh for me. This week was all right, but yeah, no.
And now it's going back to 3 hours.
Oh, and yes, January 2nd from Buffalo, New York is where we're going to.
Oh, I thought you were going to go.
Fuck that.
So SmackDown's going back to 3 hours as of January 2nd.
Explain to me how the most expensive ticket is $1,100.
I mean,
it's like second row camera side.
Buffalo. It's Buffalo.
No, I don't mean that in a bad way. Because you look at how much it is here in LA. It was fucking almost $4,000 for a ringside seat. And that wasn't even hard camera side.
I ain't paying that fucking shit. Just to get a shitty, commemorative seat. Maybe meet somebody, like, because it's a VIP package. You meet like a random fucking superstar, and it's probably somebody that's never on TV.
Well, the one person you won't meet there is West Side Gun. So,
oh god, we'll get into West Side Gun in a second.
Personally,
I would much rather sit next to West Side Gun. If I'm having any preferences, I'm sorry, I would much rather sit next to West Side Gun.
There are people.
Sorry, Triple H. I would much rather sit next to fucking West Side Gun.
Yep.
I would consider, like, if it was like the Wyatt Six, I would,
go
see them backstage. But you know what? It's gonna be somebody that is like never on TV.
Somebody from some Netflix special or some Netflix show that nobody's ever heard of.
Well, did you see what they're trying to do on Evolve now? Like, they did it for a couple of weeks, like the manager because obviously we know Stevie Turner is gone after this last taping, but for like a couple of weeks, like they had the dude from one of like the Tubi movies who's an actor or directs some of them there. And I get it because Evolve is on Tubi, but nobody's ever heard of these goddamn Tubi movies.
Well, did you hear the news? I think it was Paul Hauser.
Yes.
Paul Walter Hauser.
Paul Walter Hauser is supposedly playing Mick Foley in a biopic.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
he said he doesn't, he can't confirm that yet, but you know, that's what's gonna happen. It looks like.
I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm
somebody I would like to find. I would sit next to for $4,000.
That's another one, yes. But before we get into West Side Gun, y'all want to comment on 3 hours of SmackDown with Road Dogg as the co-writer? Yeah.
I would rather sit through 4 hours of fucking Pat Buck booking a show.
Wow. Oh, he went that way. Okay. Hey, now.
You're an all-star.
Get your game on. Go play.
Hey.
Get back to Smash Mouth in 99. Okay. So we'll get into West Side. We'll get into West Side Gun now. So West Side Gun says he will never support WWE after the Raw kickout. This was also a big thing. So here's what happened. West Side Gun walks away from WWE. West Side Gun, a well-known rapper and lifelong WWE fan, posted a long statement on X on Sunday. He declared that he will no longer support WWE because of how he was treated. He said the company kicked him out of a Raw event in his hometown of Buffalo after he spent $5,000 on a seat. What triggered the fallout? In his message, Gunn explained that he has spent years promoting WWE. He bought front row tickets to major shows and even $50,000 on suites. He said he used WWE references in his songs and album art to honor the brand. However, he felt ignored when WWE placed non-fans next to him at events. He also claimed a WWE employee threatened to erase all WWE references from his music unless he complied. The $5,000 ticket incident in Buffalo. Gunn described the night he arrived in Buffalo. He traveled with a crew, stayed in a hotel, and paid $5,000 for a seat at Raw. When the show began, security escorted him out at 8 p.m. He said the staff told him he could not stay, even though he was a paying fan. The experience broke his heart and left him feeling disrespected. After the incident, Gunn posted a video of himself speaking about the ordeal. He said he will remove WWE references from his catalog to protect his art. He also mentioned his own company, Fourth Rope, and promised to keep pushing culture without WWE support. He thanked his collaborator, Josh Bishop, for believing in him from day one. Fans reacted quickly. Many expressed support for Gunn and criticized WWE for the treatment. Some called it a clear example of WWE fan backlash. The story also sparked conversations about how large brands treat successful Black entrepreneurs. So your thoughts on West Side Gun, Paul Morales?
It's fucking horrible. Like, dude, you are trying to go after Megan Thee Stallion. You're trying to get Cardi B all up in your shit. But I mean, all up to come into your stuff. And you just had her do, SummerSlam.
Yeah.
You just had used one of her songs for SummerSlam. You used Megan Thee Stallion earlier in the year. So explain to me this. How are you going to go from somebody who has promoted your business,
right?
Who promoted your company,
right?
It would be different if West Side Gun was doing had a bunch of negative PR. If it would be completely different, but he's not. He was going out there lyrically. He was talking about John Cena, talking about Mick Foley, talking about a bunch of different wrestlers, including Triple H. So. Remind me again why they're going after him. Remind me again why you're trying to censor somebody who is promoting you. You don't go out there, you don't tell Green Shirt guy, hey, guess what? We're not gonna let you come to our events because all you do is repost our stuff and you don't tag us in it.
You don't tell Rick Ochberger, the sign guy, not to come back.
Yeah. And that's
couldn't be his skin color. Couldn't be that.
I mean, and that's where that's the worst part of it is that you do realize that now West Side Gun can pretty much do what he needs to and tell other hip hop stars don't work with them.
Exactly.
What I would do if I'm Tony Khan. I'm rolling out a welcome wagon. I'm rolling out the red carpet for West Side Gun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, hey, come check out a show. Just as a fan, we don't have to talk business at all. Just come out to a show. Just watch the show. If you feel like chatting, you can. If not, and pay for everything. Pay for his accommodation, his flight, pay for all that shit. Simple as that.
West Side Gun might not be supporting WWE anymore, but he is supporting AEW. The rapper was spotted front row at AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts in Greensboro, North Carolina on November 12th. He was on screen multiple times throughout the event, most notably during Hangman Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs and a Falls Count Anywhere match, and the aftermath where Samoa Joe, Shibata, Hook, and Eddie Kingston got involved. So West Side Gun was at AEW.
Good.
I'm happy for him. But I mean, doesn't he already does the theme for the Hurt Syndicate?
We hurt people.
But the other thing is that they have Fourth Rope has a working relationship with TNA.
Yes, they do.
So make sense.
For now.
How the fuck are you gonna try and come after this dude and then who has a working relationship with the other company that you have a working relationship with?
Exactly.
And I get it. He's not a top selling rapper. I get it. He's not. But he is still somebody who has an influence in hip hop. And what you're doing to him is basically telling him, fuck you, we don't want you here. So you can best bet that the people that he rolls with, and I can guarantee you, some of them are actually in Wu-Tang.
And they're nothing to fuck with.
And Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
You know, and it's you reference Megan Thee Stallion, you know. And now that song that they used for the SmackDown theme, it's not just Megan Thee Stallion.
No.
It's the dude from BTS is in the song too.
Yes.
And you know, you got that. Like, you're trying to bring in all these big name stars. You're trying to turn the WWE into the UFC.
Yep.
It's not going to work.
I said
it. It won't work.
It's not.
Because we've talked about this on past shows. Historically, pro wrestling has always been a blue-collar sport. It always has.
Yep.
Boxing, MMA is more of the rich person sport. You know how much it costs to get a cage side seat for UFC?
How much?
Too much fucking money.
I've seen them go for 6 figures.
Jesus.
That's why you see people like you see Trump there, Kid Rock, like actors, act like big name people. They got the dough.
Yeah, but that's Dana White just trying to put them out there. You know, Dana White's trying to say, hey, look, we're popular. Hey, look, these people are trying to come in here to come and see this stuff. And that's the reason why Dana White wants to do something at the White House.
Europe.
I'm surprised WrestleMania 43 is not at the White House.
Oh, hell, man. If we see Trump at John Cena's final match, I'm sure there will be talks of that. Just get ready. Bubba. So with that being said, I can't see it now.
Bubba says what?
Yeah.
Bubba says what?
Bubba says what? So from
Bubba.
Now, mind you, we're talking about Big Bubba Rogers, a.k.a.
Big
Boss Man. God rest his soul.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Donica Lewinsky.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next topic. And it is John Cena's final match. Moving on. So as of right now, Rusev has defeated Damian Priest. Sheamus has beat Nakamura, so Sheamus will face Rusev. Jey Uso beat Miz on SmackDown. This one we will talk about L.A. Knight. Yeah. Defeated his surprise opponent, which was none other than woo. You know it. So Zack Ryder wrestled on SmackDown, and everybody was like, "What the hell?" Because I thought this was dead. And I'm like, y'all got to understand, he wrestled Zack Ryder in the U.S. title tournament in 2015, and he has history with Zack Ryder from the storyline with Eve. So he had to come down to Zack Ryder for the one time, and he looked good, like he did on NXT with Josh Reed. He looked good, real good. Good. Now, for Solo's opponent, we want to know for Raw. Everybody thinks it's Joe Hendry. Or Adam.
Mike, check your room because you said the name.
So Adam Pearce was like, it's a surprising opponent.
It might be a Hale for all we know.
Oh, God.
I'd be okay with that.
I'd be okay with that, too.
I believe in Thea.
So do y'all think that somebody said it should be Jeff Hardy if you really want to go out of the box? You think it's Jeff Hardy? You think it's Joe Hendry? I think it's Joe Hendry.
It would
Could
be
be Joe
interesting if it was Chris Jericho.
Hey,
Segue.
We'll get to that. Well,
Very well.
Yeah, man.
Hendry to me is the obvious person. Like,
Because Hendry just signed with WWE.
Oh yeah.
So
Was I shocked? No, because he's
in a way, no, but in a kind of a way, yes, I was. And do you put him on the main roster right now, or do you stick him in NXT because he's been working in NXT?
I think they said internally right now he's on the NXT roster.
So, couple names it could be. You know, people. I've heard Jericho's name. I've heard Joe Hendry. You know, I even heard a wild card name of The Undertaker.
No.
Motherfucker's damn near 60.
Stop it. Zilla Fatu would be fun if they want to do something with that.
Mike Santana would be cool.
Oh, that would be, yeah.
Honestly,
Steve Macklin would be cool. Ricky Saints would be cool. Ethan Page would be cool.
Yep. Obafemi
would be Obafemi versus Solo.
Because you got to look at this. That match aside,
Blasphemy.
Almost guarantee whoever beats Cena or whoever wins this tournament is going to be the next Intercontinental Champion.
Oh yeah.
But what if, and hear me out, you saw how excited all this was when he announced, you know, and he says, "You'll find out on Raw."
Yes.
What if it's the big dog, the tribal chief?
Roman Reigns. Okay.
Man, I saw that back in January.
Yeah, exactly. We saw it in January. I don't know.
You know WWE likes to repeat shit.
I was there.
Now, what I would love to see, I'd love to see it be Nick Aldis.
Ooh.
All right. Well, are y'all excited?
We all remember what he can do.
Oh, we know. Former TNA World Champion.
WWE fans, they haven't. People don't want to see Nick Aldis as a general manager. We want to see him as a goddamn wrestler.
NWA World Champion Nick Aldis. Yeah.
What if it is John Cena?
Hey. So
John Cena versus John Cena. You can't see me.
What if it's Ron Cena?
Stop. Well, Ron Killings has been teasing it. Oh Lord.
Yeah, because he
balls are in your hand.
He said the balls are in your hand.
Whose balls are these?
And then hands them to
They aren't Zack Ryder's.
Who was it? Okay, what the hands him to Alba Fire, and she just says, "Oh, these balls are kind of nice."
Chelsea Green, baby. Chelsea Green.
Gotta say it right, Michael.
Chelsea Green. Now, the other match that's going to be on Raw, this one I'm actually really looking forward to. Javon Evans and Gunther tomorrow night. Yes.
Homeboy gonna die.
He is, but yes, I'm very happy for Javon. The other match is Finn Balor and Penta next week on SmackDown, and Carmelo Hayes against Bronson Reed.
That's going to be an interesting one. I just want to see good matches. That's all I want to see. And I figure by the time we get to, speaking of, who the fuck is Cena facing at Survivor Series, considering that he is now Intercontinental Champion and considering that he has nothing to do and he doesn't even have a match.
What if he's the final person?
Person War Games. John Cena War Games.
Never done one.
Nope,
never has.
I mean, first of all, I'm happy that John is the Grand Slam champion. Him and Dominic really did have a great match. I enjoyed that wholeheartedly.
I remember 5 years ago, Dominic Mysterio, when he came in fresh-faced, and to see how far that boy has come.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with this whole Judgment Day thing. Like, that's got me excited. Like, you saw the backstage segment where he's like, where was Raquel? Where was Roxanne? Where was Jade? Where was the Judgment Day?
Yep. I'm excited too. I would think because they're in San Diego that we would get Dom and Cena in a rematch. Santiago. I'm sure we were going to see. Well, they said Cena's opening up Raw tomorrow at the Garden, so I mean, we're going to probably see Cena, and we're going to get the rematch at Survivor Series, and Dom wins it back.
Actually, I know who Solo's opponent is going to be tomorrow night.
Who is it?
The Brooklyn Brawler.
Stop it! Stop it! Steve Lombardi.
Michaels.
Hey now. So we will find out on Raw, and congrats to John Cena becoming Grand Slam Cena, as we are all now calling him, because that was the shiznit. So we'll find all that out tomorrow. And I figured our last topic would be in the form of TNA, because because it pissed a lot of people off. We'll start with
Eli Drake would say, yeah.
Dummies. Yeah.
So speaking of TNA, we'll do this from Chris Jericho first, because he mentioned this on Talk is Jericho. Chris Jericho says TNA looked like the second biggest company in the world at Bound for Glory. That crowd looked huge. It looked huge. It was like a WWE level crowd. The place was packed. I was watching this and not saying anything out of school here, but comparing it to watching Dynamite when they were at the ECW arena, which looked like a Tony Condello taping. Sorry, it did. TNA looked like the second biggest company in the world, and that was amazing. And the presentation was amazing. So that's what Chris Jericho had to say about TNA and Bound for Glory.
Tell me you're not re-signing with AEW without telling me you're not.
You're signing with AEW.
Tell me you are giving Tony the finger without actually doing it.
Yeah, I think he is really out the door, and
But here's the thing, though, is that you look at what TNA did for that particular show. Bound for Glory.
Yep.
They sold it out.
Yep.
And not only did they sell it out, they had to open up more seats because the tickets were in demand. Let's forget that you had the Dudleys versus the Hardys one last time. Let's forget that part. But people were really, really genuinely interested in the show. So what we got was a far better show than a lot of people thought was going to happen. And opening up those more seats elevated them so much more. And elevated, and everybody had taken notice. Then, if you could tell what Chris said, Chris knew it. Chris, you could even go on Busted Open. They were telling the exact same thing. One person that we hate, fucking Jonathan Coachman, giving so much praise to everybody at TNA because of how great it was.
Yep,
how great the showing was. So,
then
they fucked it up. So we'll get into that portion of the show now. So
it's just as an aside, like this is TNA's, their shtick. This is what they do. Think back a couple years ago with the Hardys.
Yeah,
you sued them so they couldn't take the broken gimmick.
Yep.
Like you make Tessa your world champion
during COVID.
And then she's like, yeah, I'm not coming back.
Nope.
And then you hire her back.
5 years later.
And you let her make Jordan Grace look like a fucking bitch. Like, This is what they do.
Yeah, but this is Anthem's, not what the hell is his name that has Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling? Oh, Scott D'Amore. Yeah. It's not Scott D'Amore's TNA anymore. So whatever is going on in TNA, it's all Anthem.
And Carlos Silva, yep.
And Carlos Silva. But I mean, but pretty much like WWE, Paul Levesque is just a talking point. He's just a face who's there. I'm at the point to where I see Triple H, and it's not like, hey, I'm running the entire company. Like, it's me. Like, I own it. It's my company. I'm running it. No. He is doing the exact same thing he was under Vince, in that he's running things, but he's just there. It's all TKO.
He's easily
everybody. He is now working for so many other people. He is everybody's bitch.
Yep.
Sorry to say. And that's pretty much where Carlos Silva is at. He is Anthem's bitch. To do
and we know Anthem
everything they're doing.
And Anthem we know is TKO's bitch. I guarantee this is some. I would not be shocked. NXT costs Mike Santana the title. Gold Rush coming up. Would we be shocked if, maybe, because we know Ricky Saints isn't going to have the title long. What if the get back is Ricky Saints dropping the NXT title to Mike Santana?
Well, Ricky Saints does have
It
that.
would be interesting.
He does have that victory over him in the TNA, NXT, and TNA little Survivor Series they did, so that would be cool. That's a nice little detail.
You mean their invasion that wasn't an invasion because it was they can't really say invasion?
The invasion that wasn't the invasion, yes.
Yeah, the invasion that wasn't the invasion.
So to put it in perspective for those that didn't see, so Mike Santana is wrestling Ryan Nemeth in the main event of TNA. Dolph is coming to the ring. He's also got the Call Your Shot too. And he gets taken out by NXT. So the guys that take him out are Charlie Dempsey, Lexis King, Brooks Jensen, Stax, and Robert Stone, the former Robbie E in TNA. And then Frankie Kazarian comes out and cashes in on Mike Santana and wins the TNA World Heavyweight Championship for the first time in his illustrious career in TNA. After 32 days, after this long-ass build to Bound
No defenses,
this long-ass build to Bound for Glory, this feel-good moment with his daughter. 32 days later, Mike Santana loses the TNA World Heavyweight Championship.
I know we have to trust the process. I really, really understand and know that we have to trust the process.
Yeah.
But you couldn't have waited at least until the new year. You couldn't have waited. You couldn't have given him, maybe 3 or 4 title defenses, for that title. You had Turning Point, which was this past Friday, which was
the next day,
which was really a good show. And again, something that could have happened on Turning Point and not necessarily on TNA TV.
A random ass
freaking TV show, and why is it after a 4-week hiatus? Or why was TNA off on a 4-week hiatus? I don't understand that. Like, they were supposed to be their weekly show, and all of a sudden they were gone for 4 weeks. Make that make sense. I know why, but because they were showing up on NXT. That's why they were on a 4-week hiatus, because they were showing up everywhere other than their own show.
Yep.
That's the gripe I have. The one gripe I have right now is that it just seems like, yes, this whole partnership is going one way. But I think at the same time, why was it Charlie Dempsey? Why was it Brooks Jensen? Who are they in NXT that they're just going to come run rickshaw off of everybody in TNA?
That was the other thing. Like, they had High Rise in there too, like Wesley's former boys. I'm like, what the fuck are High Rise doing in this thing?
Speaking of Wesley, he freaking debuted.
Desmond Xavier back with the Rascals at Turning Point, baby.
I'll make it again.
And that was a one-off.
Yeah, which I think their Rascals, the deal for Zachary Wentz ends on the 1st of January. Do y'all see them going to AEW?
I don't know.
Or they stay with TNA?
Honestly,
what's his face already went to Ace
Austin did, yeah.
Ace Austin already
He's
went
part
to
of the Bang Bang Gang now, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's working on
back
so
to things
well.
that don't make. Oh yeah, because AEW needs another tag team
Of
to
course.
go to freaking that they don't use to go to freaking AEW,
Well, I said
That'll
this-
just hurt people.
or they'll go to ROH.
That's what I said. Like, Zeta Steele, they have interest in her because of her tenure on Evolve with the Vanity Project. But I'm like, if you bring Zeta Steele in, she's going to be on Ring of Honor.
That's somebody who needs to go to TNA.
I like Zeta Steele.
That would be somebody I would love, and I know that was Bubba Ray's freaking. He was coaching her, but I mean, still at the same time, like, I think that she would do well in TNA.
He'd be a great heel in the
More so than AEW.
Where this is going to lead, eventually WWE is going to take over TNA in its entirety. There have already been rumors that
they're doing.
There are rumors that they're going to be buying the tape. They want the tape library.
Yep.
So
I wanted Mike Santana versus AJ Styles. If AJ Styles is on his one final run, you're going to give him everything that he wants. Not forget that your only partnership is with NXT. AJ Styles is a lifelong TNA guy.
When you think TNA, you think AJ.
Yeah. We don't think of Mr. Top of the Mountain.
No.
The King of the Mountain. Sorry, my bad. We don't think of Mr.
King of the Mountain.
Let me say this. If he was available,
AJ Styles and Samoa Joe.
I would love to see Christopher Daniels and AJ one more time.
That would be cool with me.
I would like to see Frankie Kazarian and AJ Styles one more time.
And Frankie wants it.
Or what about a moonshine sipping, creek swimming, Johnny Cash listening cowboy
James Storm
from Tennessee?
That would be cool. Like, there's so many possibilities that they could go with that. Like, I am excited.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Braden Walker.
And I'm going to knock your brains out. Yes. Still so funny to this day.
Knock, knock, who's
there? Braden Walker. So we go from
bad for that man.
Me too.
Styles. Go to bed.
Yeah. Styles. AJ Styles' retirement tour is going to be sweet. But yeah, TNA, LOL TNA for what the fuck that they did to poor Mike Santana. Like Paul said, trust the process. Let's see where it goes. But still, you fucked it up. You couldn't have just waited till Hard to Kill or something. Oh, God, it pisses me off. But here's something else that pissed people off, and this will be the final thing we mention on TNA. So AEW President Tony Khan issued a response to the fan who got kicked out of the TNA wrestling tapings. Jacob Cohn, a wrestling fan who regularly attends events and shares photos and results, noted via Twitter and X that he had been kicked out of the TNA wrestling tapings on Saturday night in Orlando, Florida. He had wrote the following message. Just to let everyone know, I have been asked by TNA management to leave the show tonight. There was a belief that I was filming the show. I showed them I was not. They returned and asked me to leave anyways. Wasn't allowed to talk to anyone further. So that's all for me tonight. Added bonus, I was told I will not be receiving a refund. And then Tony Khan would go on to respond under that. At Mr. Jacob Cohen, you're always welcome at AEW and Ring of Honor. So your thoughts on this fan getting kicked out of the TNA tapings and Tony Khan welcoming it with open arms?
Smart business.
Yep.
This goes back to West Side Gun.
Yep, they kicked poor Jacob Cohen out of the TNA thing, and everybody got pissed about that too.
Again, kudos to Tony Khan, and he's taking advantage of the things that, the mistakes that WWE does, and the mistakes that now TNA are doing. So if Tony Khan continues to do this, we already mentioned what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble. I personally think Tony Khan needs to counter program him. I personally think if you're really going to do this, I think the following year for WrestleMania 43, you counter program them, and you counter program them with either an all out or an all in.
Yep.
You know what you do? What is the biggest stadium in North America right now? Is it still the one in Texas?
Yeah, Allegiant Stadium.
No, the Allegiance in Vegas.
My apologies. Yeah, what the hell's the one in Texas?
Well, there's RGR, which is in Houston. There's Texas Stadium, which is
Michigan Stadium and
Arlington. Arlington's freaking where the Rangers played.
Yeah, AT&T Stadium.
Globe Life was the one that they did all out.
Here's what you do. All in, all out. Same fucking weekend of WrestleMania.
Okay.
So WrestleMania night 1 in Saudi. That night, all in. WrestleMania night 2.
All out.
Exactly. You bring out all the fucking stops. Literally everything. And you think about it. How many people, how many icons in wrestling are out there that aren't signed to a Legends deal with WWE?
Buttloads.
I got one better. We can go with Denise Alex. We can go with everybody who has a major platform. Everybody, Wheezy, Conman, every wrestling podcaster that's out there. Everybody who does what we do.
Us.
And a lot of them are not going to go to Saudi Arabia for that show, because, and you go back on their social medias, they've all said the same thing. I don't feel comfortable doing it. I shouldn't have to do all kinds of different things to try and oblige what their customs are, and that's just it, is that, I get not wanting to disrespect another country, but still, there are no freedoms there. You do something wrong, guess what? You're going to jail and you're probably going to die.
Right.
Look at Denise. We'll use her. She would have to go in, hair covered up. She would have to have, like no skin showing apart from her hands. And people say, whoa, no, that is. Look at how the wrestlers have to dress. Look at how the referees have to dress.
Yep.
And I am telling you, and Mike, Paul, I've been saying this for a year. All Tony has to do is sit back and bide his time, that WWE would eat themselves. And right now with TNA isn't being looked at like it's a TNA product. Right now, people are looking at TNA like it's a WWE product.
Like it's another extension of a WWE developmental.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I wish Denise would let me get that clip of her and I talking about this, because specifically, something she said, I don't want to go. I am not going to go all the way over there for a crappy show. I'm not. And I know it's WrestleMania, and I know it's going to be spectacular because that's what the Saudis do. They go all out. But still, she's not going to go. Alex, Queen of the Ring, already said she's not going to go. So many others have already said, I am not booking my tickets to go to frickin' Saudi Arabia, to go all the way over there for nothing, and then have to go through all the bullshit that they're going to pass through, because we're Americans or we're from whatever other country that are flying there. I'm sorry. What you're doing is that you're literally pushing away a lot of your fans, a lot of your fan base by doing this. And a lot of social media influencers are telling them this, and they're going to do it anyway. So they got paid. They got the money for it, so they're going to do it.
The thing it was reported a number of months back that TKO was something in the tune of $3 billion in debt. And that was, due to the acquisition of WWE from Vince McMahon. That was also the UFC debt. They're trying to make that money up somehow.
But that was something we've mentioned before about how in debt they are.
Mark Shapiro, their chief financial officer, and Nick Khan have all said, we don't really see an issue with the cost of the tickets. And Nick Khan saying, we think the American fans will travel to Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania.
Bullshit.
Some might, yeah. But you're expecting fans to be able to afford tickets to go across the world, pay for a hotel and tickets. It's not like, Vegas, like me. I'll use myself, for example. I could pay for a ticket to go, to fly to a plane ticket to fly to Vegas for Mania. I could buy a ticket for the show. What I would not do is go to fucking Saudi.
Yeah, Vegas is different than going to Saudi. As someone like Dan mentioned, who's been there,
you're gonna see Saudi fans in Saudi Mania.
Yes.
It's not like going to Mexico. It's not like going to Canada. It's not like going over to England. It's not like going to France, Germany, Australia. A lot of those countries that they've gone to over the past few years, overseas, have all been free countries.
France,
Italy, France, England, Ireland, Belgium, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, going up to Canada, going down to, well, I don't think that, well, yeah, they've done stuff down in Mexico, but most of those are house shows.
In China too, even to that extent, too.
China.
Yeah, but still at the same time, you guys already know it's like those free countries. You're not going to worry about, hey, I'm going to be taken away if I say something wrong, or I say something about the government, or if I say something about how this building over here looks like crap. And then they swoop you up because you're talking crap about their country.
Nobody cares.
That's what it's like going to Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry, you can fucking look it up and look at people who have traveled there. They will tell you the exact same thing. If they're alive.
Yep. We don't give a shit that it's Riyadh season. That's what we're saying pretty much.
Never fucking cared that it was Riyadh season.
The other issue is you are expecting Americans to go to a region where we are not liked.
Yeah, they hate us.
People from the UK, from, Asia. Yeah, sure. They'll go. Yeah. In that region, and I'm not specifically singling out Saudi.
Right.
I'm singling out that region in general. They do not like Americans. I wonder why. Case in point, I don't, and you're going to tell because I remember when they announced it, they said this isn't really a concern. There's going to be a lot of security. Nothing is foolproof.
Right.
I'll give you three names.
Okay.
Bush number 1, Bush number 2, and Donica Lewinsky. Those are the three names. It wasn't Obama. It wasn't Clinton. Bubba. It wasn't Clinton. It was everybody else.
It's our entire presence in the Middle East for the past 40 years. Beyond that, even go back to the fucking, the fall of, the Republic in Iran, the rise of the Islamic Republic.
Yep.
Look at the history. Look what we have done in that region.
Open up a book. Open up a textbook.
Get your history books ready, folks.
Get your history books ready.
This has been history with the RWT podcast.
You're welcome.
Case in point, it is not a region that is really very well liked by Americans, and they don't like knowing how some people can act.
Yep.
I wonder how much money the Saudi government offered.
We'll find out eventually, but right now it's just
it was a boatload of cash.
It was a one. If they're as in debt as they are, it was a boatload of cash to help them out. But still, they're still fucking over fans. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how the hell you want to paint this, or how the hell you want to put this out there. They're fucking over the fans. Because yes, Vince McMahon may have been all the things that he was, but at least Vince McMahon catered to families and catered to the fans. As far as like, I want you to come in to go watch this.
That is the one plus I will say about Vince, as opposed to the brand. Yep.
And you know what? Well, I love that the talent has more time at home. I remember when I was younger, I went to a house show with my father, in Elmira, New York. It might have been 2003. Undertaker, he was still the American Badass. He hadn't turned, yet. And I remember going to see house shows and seeing parents with their kids, with their little kids and having a good time, because we all know that's how it was for us. Like, we were shown wrestling by our dads, our moms, our families. And now that's not a thing. Like,
we don't have that luxury.
The SmackDown in Buffalo, the cheapest seat was $125. I am sorry, but absolutely not.
No.
And I will tell you that venue, it's the First Niagara Center. Nice venue, but it's the very top, like nosebleed to where like you step in, it looks like you're looking straight down. You know those type of seats.
Oh yeah.
I get nervous being in seats like that.
He's on NASA called.
Well,
I'm in the space station.
This is going to backfire on them in ways we haven't even begun to see yet.
So
something we mentioned in the next 10 years, what's going to happen is that, I'm sorry, TKO is probably going to have to start selling off a lot of WWE, and that's the bad part. But at the same time, a lot of fans need to stop investing in it. We can watch it. I'm not saying
Tony Khan picture here.
I'm sorry, but we can watch it. We can watch it, support the wrestlers that way. But I'm sorry, I am no longer going to a WWE event. Never again.
I'm on the same stance.
And I said this to you guys last year when it was in Vegas. I was gonna go. I didn't get a chance to go because of everything that was going on. Yep. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to go next year. But what I'm not going to do is go to the actual event. I'll sit at my mom's. I'll sit on my mom's couch and watch WrestleMania. I will go to every other like wrestling independent show that's around there. I will try and get to as many as possible.
Get to Access.
I'm going to get there early. I'm going to go to Access, and I'm going to go meet up with everybody from Busted Open because that's kind of that's on my bucket list because I want to go punch Dave LaGreca in the throat and steal his damn pink robe.
I thought you were going to say Dave Meltzer.
Him too. I literally. Dave LaGreca is one of is cool. Cool as all hell. I wouldn't do nothing to him. He's cool.
Meltzer, yes.
Meltzer, yes. Alvarez, yes. Anybody else? No.
Well, I will say this: if you do get the chance to do that, have fun because I'm at the same boat with you guys. These fucking tickets are too expensive. The direction that they're going, I myself am never going to go to a WWE event.
I can go stay at my mom's. I ain't trying to pay for a damn hotel.
Well, that's the thing. I can't even tell you the last time I went to a WWE event live. It's been a long ass time.
The last show that I went to, it must have been 2016, 2017. It was whenever Jinder was WWE champion. And honestly, this is what I miss about house shows. They were so much fun because the talent could try out different things. That was work. Like it was Jinder and Kevin Owens because KO was the US champion at the time.
Yeah.
And like they would be making fun of Kevin and like Jinder ran up and like, you know, he's hugging him and like he's saying, "Oh, it's gonna be okay," and he's screaming at the crowd. He just says, "Why are you people so mean?"
That's the beauty of house shows. You get to have fun. That's what we need to have more is fun.
We could talk about, dude. I went to the house show with my daughter. I went to the holiday tour a couple of years ago, and it's a house show. You know, we got to see LA Knight versus Jimmy Uso in a steel cage, and they were having so much fun talking with the crowd, you know, getting interaction. We got to see CM Punk. We got to see a bunch of different wrestlers that we liked. And it was fun. It was entertaining, you know, to see all these people out there and the wrestlers interacting with the fans, you know, asking them for getting them hyped up, you know, during matches. That was the best part, you know. To me, those were always the best about going to house shows because you didn't have a camera on you. You just had the crowd, the energy from them, and enjoying what they were doing.
So I was third row at this specific one, and I forget who they were facing, but it was Naomi and Becky Lynch teaming up, and there was this little fan that had their popcorn in the front row. Becky jumps down off the apron, walks up to the fan, and just says, "Hey, can I have some?" And the little kid just like gives like here, and she gets back on the apron, just tossing the popcorn. Like stuff like that, and I will say this just because it's my favorite personal story here. One of the matches was Eric Rowan versus Luke Harper.
Yeah.
The late, great Brody Lee. And Harper won. After the match, brought his little boy in. I think 17. Must have been Brody. And, has Brody on his shoulder. And, that made me love wrestling just because, it's a cool moment. And this is what we're missing. It's not about the celebrities. It's not about, this celebrity's going to wrestle. Don't get me wrong. Fucking cool seeing Jelly Roll wrestle. He fucking killed it.
Right.
But it's about this. Families creating moments. And I'm telling you, I went to a TNA house show, and it was cool. After the show, they would have wrestlers, just hang out and just I met Hernandez. I got to meet Angle. I met James Storm, and it was shortly after the whole Brayton Walker thing. He comes by, and I said, "Hey, cowboy, knock knock," and he immediately just turns away. It's moments like that I'm not saying do as many as they were doing, because that's a fucking hard schedule.
Agreed.
But occasionally have more, and it's just, I won't do it. I can't support that. The $30 a month fucking ESPN bullshit. No. I was talking to my mom about this. I said, I've got to draw the line somewhere. And there it is.
That guy's ready to get out too. So
that's drawing the line right there. So with that,
I was drawing the line right there too. He was like, "I'm out of here."
So with that being said, y'all, when it comes to the events, have fun, enjoy moments and memories created, moments and memories yet to be created.
Don't fucking break the bank to go fucking.
Don't fucking break the bank to go do this shit. But you want to talk about fun and moments and memories, y'all. RWT Podcast. We'll be back within the next few days to talk some more wrestling and whatnot. There's a lot coming on. We got Full Gear. We got a lot of good stuff coming for y'all. So that being said, Daniel Crimmins, where can we follow you on the social medias? The floor is
just recorded 2 episodes of Pundit. They are doing their YouTube thing now. They should be up probably within the next, hopefully by Wednesday.
Okay.
Hoping. Subscribe to our shows. We'll entertain you. We're not paying you. We're not doing that.
We won't pay you, though.
I can't pay you.
Because we ain't getting paid.
I can't pay you.
Mike might be getting paid because it's his YouTube channel after all.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. But with that being said,
as far as me, I'm sorry, my bad.
Well, I was waiting to him. Well, besides the
I was waiting for him to tell us when he was where he was at, man. He was
my
be down below.
Mike will put all my stuff down below. Now, we would be remiss. I'm gonna ask my good buddy, one of the coolest people here, Mr. Deadman of RWT, the one, the only, Mr. Paul Morales. Where can we find you? What are you working on? The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh my God, that was so you know what? Hey, I'm the handsome one of the group, so it's okay. I understand it. I understand that it just took you a few minutes to get all that out because I know you were looking at all my handsomeness. It's okay. But you know what? See that name right there, the Dead Man of RWT. Of course, you can find me on X. You go into the link of my bio. You can find all my socials, of course, TikTok, Threads, IG. You can not on Pornhub, not like that guy over there. But hey, you know what? Everywhere else you can find me. And of course, my link tree will be down below. And of course, the RWT Facebook page, which we are a part of. And of course, what we named this show after. Well, actually, we didn't name it. Sorry. Hey,
shout out to the doctor.
Doc. Shout out to
we the did doc. Now. Ha ha!
Shout out to the doc. But anyways, yes, all the links will be down below. Mr. Michael Larkin, my brother from another mother. Where can we find you?
You can check us out, S&M Network shows. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are at over the 1,400 plus mark. I appreciate it. Everybody that subscribes to all the great shows on the channel. From the RWT Podcast, from Deep Into the Heart of Wrestling, all 5 seasons of Uncaged, which we'll be back to doing after the holidays, after the holiday season. And we got Deep Into the Heart of Wrestling with Robert Davis and Nicola. We got the Stephen Mike Show. We got Pop Culture. We got the LFC Podcast. We got a whole lot of and more. Shooting the Breeze actually just came back. I did a show with Jonathan Beveridge, a.k.a. Beer.
Johnny Bevs.
Johnny on the Max Wrestling Pie, Johnny Bevs, yes. And as well, SM Show 1 or MCL92 on Twitter, Larkin_92, M Larkin MB on the Instagram, and StephenMikeShow.com and LFCFights.com for all your audio and video goodness. So, with that being said, we will see you in the next RWT podcast. For Daniel Kremens, for Paul Morales, my name is Mike Larkin. We bid you
Bye,
adieu.
guys.
Bye, guys. Oh, Bubba.
Bubba says what?
Bubba says what? Khaled Park, Bubba Sparks.
Booty, rockin'.
Everyone.
God, I haven't heard that name in a long
Blowing everybody everywhere. Good night, everybody.